All right, I am doing a experimental stream. Just doing a Friday afternoon, somewhat hackathon to experiment with something called h2r dot graphics. So this is a kind of a what do you call it? Just an experiment in working with a thing called h2r dot graphics, which will put on-screen messages onto the stream. And I have a few ideas of what I want to do with that. I would like to have a running total of how many articles that we reviewed and rated and have some really fun graphics. So I was going to spend some time doing a stream, very casual, and yeah, just give it a shot, see how it goes, see if I can accomplish something in this lovely Friday afternoon. So here goes. Let's give this a shot here. And if you are here in the chat, please say hello. Love to know who's watching. On LinkedIn. All right, get the screen up and running. Let's see. All right. So just going to give this a try. So the idea is kind of uh, oh, my sound circular. Oh, hello, Kanika. Good to thank you for joining us, and really appreciate it. Hopefully, we can all learn something together. Okay, so I want to show you an idea of what I'm doing, and to do that, I think I'm going to have to share my screen. So let's get this set up. And the first thing I want to show is my setup for streaming. Pull this up. Okay, share this chart on the screen. Present this screen. Here we go. Present. Share screen. Let's share this window. Okay. So this is what my streaming layout looks like. And it's actually a tiny bit dated. So I wanted to update this and then show how this stream how it's going to work. So I've now got an ATEM Extreme. So let's put one of these here. This is an ATEM Extreme. Let's look for images here. I really believe in documenting everything really well. So let's find an ATEM Extreme ISO. Okay. Images. Yep, that's what I've got. Let's copy that over to here. Okay, so we've got an ATEM Extreme ISO. And this will take a bunch of HDMI signals. And one of the HDMI signals that you're looking at right now is through this Fuji camera. So I have like that. The flow is the other way. So we think about it that way. There's this Fuji camera that I'm looking at right there that's feeding into this ATEM Extreme. And this ATEM Extreme is going via USB to my laptop. So let's put my laptop over here. Let's see. Here we go. So here's my laptop. This is via USB-C, and this gets streamed outwards. And so this laptop I think of as my control. So then I've also got a refurbished 2014 late model Mac Mini. So that's going to go into another port on the Extreme. And it's on this Mac Mini that I'm running something called h2r dot graphics. So hold on one second. Okay, so let's see how. So what this is doing. So I've got my in order to demonstrate how this works, I want to show you h2r graphics. h2r h2r graphics. You can run this on another computer, and you get all of these text boxes that are green, or that are over a green background. And then using the ATEM Extreme, you can do what's called chroma key this out. So this is going to run h2r graphics. So let's put that on the other computer, and I want to show you what that looks like. So let's see. Let's get the Mac Mini on here. So I've got the Mac Mini also on the screen. Let's get this Mac Mini ready for display. Okay. Close a few things there. Okay. Cool. Let's turn on focus mode. Do not disturb. Okay. So if I show what my Mac Mini is seeing, you're going to see this. So let's put the Mac Mini screen replacing my camera. Let's see. Okay, that's camera 6. Okay, so you should be able to see camera number 6. There we go. That's what it looks like. So you can see the desktop of this Mac Mini. Now, I'm leaving this not full screened for a reason. Okay, so you see this. Now, let's go back to, here we go. Let's go back to, okay, you should be able to see me now. Okay, so let's turn, I want to show you another bit of software that controls the ATEM Extreme so we can see how we can use this cool feature. So let me share this window. All right, anyone else online? Let's see how we're doing. All right. Oh, and hey, Sarab, good to have you with us. I hope you're still here. But yeah, let's give this a shot. Okay, so we've got this diagram. We've got me here. Now, let me present what the ATEM software interface looks like. So share screen, window here, ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. And so you see I've got 8 cameras, and right now camera 6 is that Mac Mini. And so what I want to do, and I'm still learning a lot about how this stuff works. So I want to do what's called a chroma key. So let's do output here. Now let's go over to here. Here we go. So let's do camera 6. Let's do a chroma sample over here so get the right green. And now let's turn on the key. There we go. Okay, so if you see what this looks like now, you see the ATEM is doing the hardware green screening. And so if we turn off the key, if we turn off the key and show camera 6, it's like this. Okay, but then if we turn on the chroma key, let's go back to camera 1. That's that. And then we have a fill source of camera 6. Turn on the key. There we go. So I can do some really cool stuff with this. I'm very excited. about this. So let's have a look at some of the controls. So this is, let's go to the control room of this project. Okay. Slash control slash ABCD. Okay, cool. So let me show you the h2r.graphics interface. So stop sharing that. Present, share screen, window. Okay, so this is the control interface to h2r.graphics. And so this is right now coming out of the Mac Mini. So let's look at what we can do. We can have these controllable lower thirds. We can make those go away. Those go away. We can display the time. And if we look at what this looks like, let's do a side by side. There we go. So if we look at the time, you see the time should be keyed over my window. Do we see that? Yes, we do. Let's go to me full screen, solo layout. There we go. So you should see the time. You should see a hello world ticker. There we go. There's another pop-in message. We have team 1, team 2, and this is all controllable. The cool thing about h2r.graphics is that it is controllable via API. And so I thought in this stream, I might explore the API a bit and see if we can lay the foundations for some really cool heads up type information on AWS Made Easy, just to deliver a really, really fun experience. I'm really looking forward to this. And it's kind of a project that's kind of perfect for a Friday afternoon. So let's have a look at this and see how it can work. Okay. So let's go to the documentation. And again, this is a stream that we are doing together. Let's put up the documentation. Here we go, HTTP. So there is an API. The IP address of the host machine has this structure, API/project ID. So over here, this should show as a project ID. So this is, here's the IP address of the Mac Mini. It's showing .0.40:4001/control/ABCD. I'm fairly sure that ABCD is going to be the project ID. So IP address of host machine, :4001/API/project ID. Okay, so learn how to take full advantage of the API here. Okay. Use the official h2r graphics module to control the app from Companion. Okay, so Companion, I believe, goes with, here we go. h2r graphics module, control the app from Companion. Okay, so Companion, I believe, is an app that can run on your iPhone and control an ATEM. And this is what we're using. It's how to use with ATEM. So we're doing the chroma method. This is cool. Okay, we've set up this upstream key. We can also try the Luma keying later, but this is what we're doing right now. This is ATEM upstream key. Okay, so let's see if we can control some of these things via API. So we've got most HTTP methods below will rely on a URI and a JSON object. Keep in mind the fastest way to this information is within the rundown by right-clicking on the graphic you want to show, hide, update. So let's look at that. Say we're interested in this lower third. API. Ah, cool. Okay. Copy, show URI. Now let's have a look at what that looks like. You know, we could use Postman for this. That would work. We could also just use good old Emacs. And one frustrating thing with StreamYard is that it's kind of a pain to share multiple windows at the same time. So let's see if we can do that. We'll have to see how that goes, but let's. Okay, so we have. Let me make this bigger. Set default font. Let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, cool. Let's make it even bigger. 36. Wow. Okay. So this is the kind of base URL for this object. So let's have a look at what we can do with this. Okay, so we've got this copy show URI. There's a run base URL slash run. What does this do? Oh, well, let's see if we can do clear all the graphics. So I think we have a base URL equals. We're in a Python environment right now. And I'll call this import requests. And shell, let's call this. Okay, let's executable. Our base URL of our h2r.graphics is going to be, I believe it is going to be this API slash that slash. Perfect. Okay. So now G1. Now let's try out the clear all graphics. So let's clear URL equals base URL plus. And according to the documentation, it takes a post with no parameters and should give back a 200. So let's see. But we could probably just do this right from shell with the HTTP. HTTP post. Let's go here. And we got an OK. And what happened? Oh, that actually worked. So look at this. The graphic went away. So I can bring the graphic back on stage. Let's bring up a bunch of graphics. We've got the time. We've got hello world. We've got message body. Let's bring up a lower third. We've got all this stuff. And then let's make one API call. Let's bring back the trusty Emacs window. Let's make one API call here. And cool. That's it. That is super cool. So that is the clear command on h2r.graphics. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's check out the next API function. API show a graphic. So this is, let's show a graphic. And then the format of the URL is going to be URL. It's going to be, so let's do this. Show, we have a graphic. So let's call that G1 ID. It's going to be, it's this part. way to do this right, we can do an f string. Show URL equals f. Let's make this a. Now, is this something I can do? Use simple prompts so that it doesn't. It's working in the Emacs shell. Memory things, I suppose. Okay, so let's see if we got the syntax right for the f string. So this curly bracket should take. Let's make this a real variable here. Probably some anti-pattern to have a 1 and an I next to each other, but I can read it. So show URL. Okay, we see that our f string did the variable substitution for us, and now we should be able to do request.post. Okay, that takes a URL. Now let's see if we do request.post to show URL. JSON equals this. So this forces the JSON header, even though we're not passing it any data. So let's call this R. R1. Failed to establish a new. Oh, yeah, let's see. Yep, base URL. Yep, that's my fault. Goes down. So we actually want to do this. Show URL. That's what we want. Ooh, we have an extra slash. So where's that coming from? Base URL terminates a slash. Yep, base URL. So that's okay. We should have a library that checks that for us. I don't like having that slash there. That way we see it there. Okay, so let's put that back in there. Okay, that looks like a good URL. So then what's our command here? R1.json. R1, what did it get? We got a 200. And well, actually, let's just check if it worked. Oh, yeah, so it showed up. So, okay, cool. Let's put this side by side again. Well, do you want to see? Let's do picture in picture. No, let's do. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so you can see my screen. Oh, you can't see the graphic ID because it's cut off. Let's do that. You know what? I'll just put a graphic on the right side. So let's do the clear action. So we have a clear URL. Make a function. If clear nothing. Clear URL. Clear h2r. Okay, so that worked. No, it did not. Clear URL. Oh yeah, because let's use proper f strings here. Base URL. Clear h2r. There we go. Okay, great. Let's make it so you can see everything. Okay, so you don't need to see too much of my screen, but you want to see that I'm doing. Okay, so we've got Emacs here. Let's look at. Okay, so we have the show URL function. We can do here. R1 dot response. R1 dot status code. That's 200. R1 dot text. Okay. All right. So that is okay. It put up that graphic. Cool. So let me turn off the StreamYard graphics because that way you can kind of see. Let's turn off the StreamYard graphics. Okay. Let's see, how do we do that? Banners. Here, let's take away the headline and just say I'm S. There we go. So now you can, there's not as much of the StreamYard graphics showing. We can even, here we go, turn that off. Okay, so now all of the banners are from h2r. And then so you can see in the Emacs display, let's make this a little narrower so it doesn't change. See, this is why I need to use everything in ATEM, because with StreamYard, you don't have as much flexibility over the layout. There you go. You can see it now. Okay, so R1, that's how you do that. So have a look at this. We should be able to do clear h2r. There it is. And then we can do, make this other web request here. It goes back up. That's cool. Okay. So next thing is let's figure out how to get a custom bit of text into there. So let me stop this screen and share the ATEM screen, or share my browser. So this is how we're going to figure out how to do this. Okay, so here's the documentation. It's got a graphic with an ID. Okay, this looks good. Update contents of a graphic. Okay, this is interesting. Team is the number of the team. So this is for a score graphic. Graphic ID, update score. Team level type amount. Level is the score to update. Team is the team. Level is the score to update. Type is a string depending on how the score should change, either set, up, or down. Okay, so let's think about variable text. Update variable text. I see. Okay. So this makes sense. So let's go back to the h2r control. First line, second line. So what I think we can do here is if we go to variables, text.1. So I can say all your base h2r belong to us. Okay. And then in the rundown, we could take this, and I think we can edit this and do text.1. Yeah, there we go. Text.1, text.2. So then we do this. Cool. Okay. So now we get this. Okay, so that's a message that we can have. Now let's try this one. If we could do text.1, text.2 right next to each other. And let's make the theme different. Instead of h2r orange, h2r gray. position. Let's make it huge. Middle. Okay, here we go. Whoa. Let's scale this back. There we go. Okay, so this is two variables. So if we look at the contents of this, text1, text2. Cool. So the clear function should work to get rid of this. So let's go back to Emacs. Stop screen here. Let's do present, share screen, and let's share Emacs. Okay. So let's see how we can clear that. So if we do our clear h2r function this way, now if we want to show it, we're going to need the graphic ID. So this graphic ID for this one is 29CGH. So I'll do G2ID equals 29CGH. Now we should be able to it's experimental, so it's not super structured here. R2. All right, let's try that. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it showed up. All right, let's do a clear h2r. It goes away. All right, cool. So now let's try and update that value. So update the text variable. This is just going to the documentation here. Update variable text. Okay. Now I believe this one variable text ID. So I'll call it var ID text.1. That was our first variable. And so if we do apologize for the naming, this is all just experimental. So we want base URL. That's what we want here. So f string here. Base URL. Here are ID. One. Now it's going to need the body is just one object called text. Here is some text. Okay, so R3 equals request.post show URL JSON equals. Now we can just put something text. No, none. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Oh, let's see. Well, that's obviously my fault because I ran the post on the wrong URL. But let's see if we can change the text dynamically. Oh, cool. Okay, I like that. That's really cool. Okay, so now we've got. That's cool. Okay, so what we've done, just to summarize, let's wrap this up in a function real quick. So, var d text, text, and this here. Oh, sloppy. here, h2r text. No input checking just yet. Should be able to say update var id some of your base. There we go, and it updated. So you can see, let's change layout here. So if I do update var all your base are belong to us, that's cool. That's really cool. So what's happening is h2r.graphics is running on my little 9-year-old refurbished Mac Mini, and it is hosting this API on my other controller computer. I can call out to the simple API to control what's here. Clear h2r, clears it. And then in my h2r.graphics, okay, so then I can, how do we show? That's just going to be that's our update. Here's our show graphics. That's cool. So we show the graphics and using our update var id. Let's see. What about this? Sunny day. That's funny. Okay, so this was a kind of a fun little hacking session, just to show h2r graphics. I had never used it before, so this is my process of exploring an API, understanding how h2r graphics works, and now that I've got this flow set up with both the hardware keying and also having programmatic access to the contents of this, the next step is going to be having some more kind of exciting. Okay, let's test this on full screen real quick. There it is. Okay, so now the whole layer is, so it looks, right now you're seeing camera with then a chroma key on top of it, which is a full screen version of h2r.graphics. And you should be able to see, and now I have programmatic control. So again, I can do, let's go back here. I have programmatic control over the upper and lower thirds using some really simple APIs. Okay, that's really cool. So now I want to do that, add more value to AWS made easy by having some really cool heads-up displays, some metadata that's being shown all the time as Raul and I are reviewing articles to be able to have facts about the articles and the authors pop up. It's going to be powered by AI, by ChatGPT, by Bedrock, to make it a really immersive, interactive experience. And also, it's fun to learn all about this stuff. I'm just kind of basically scratching the surface of what the ATEM can do, about what all this production stuff can do. And it's a fun way to round out the week, learning more about this stuff and adding more production value to the show. All right, I'm going to sign off for a bit, and hope you have a nice start to your weekend. Thanks for tuning in.